Ladies and gentlemen,
the most transformative sport event on earth is about to begin.
Those who are in the stadium are on their feet.
It's just a long, niggly climb.
Because it is desperation now. And there it is.
Gold! What a result! Another remarkable athlete about to write another chapter in Paralympic history.
Bonjour and welcome to day 3 of the Paris 2024 Paralympics on Keep the Flame Alive, the podcast for fans of the Olympics and Paralympics. I am your host, Jill Jaracz, coming to you from the Hotel du Podcast. Joined as always by my lovely co-host, Alison Brown. Alison, bonjour. Comment ça va?
There ain't no party like an Uzbek party.
Oh, yeah. You messaged that to me and I was just like, what is going on in Taekwondo?
It was Uzbeka wild.
Oh my gosh. I will say it's been a good day.
It has been a good day. It's been an emotional day, but a good day.
Excellent. Little follow-up file I wanted to note after we signed off yesterday. I found out that Lisa Kjaer from Denmark, who won one of the bronze Taekwondo medals, that was the last bout of her career. She sealed it up with a medal. That's nice.
You know, go out on top.
There you go. Let's begin the baguette.
So I spent my day at the Grand Palais.
Yes.
Got there in the morning, didn't leave until I think it was 10:30 or so by the time I actually got out of the building.
Taekwondo is a long day.
It is a long day. We had 3 weight classes today. So there was a lot going on. But there was a little break and I didn't want to go far. So I went across the street to the Petit Palais, which I think is also very funny, by the way, because there's the Grand Palais and the Petit Palais.
And the Petit Palais is not that petite.
It is not that petite, but they did have one of the Cultural Olympiad exhibits, and it's called The Body in Motion. And I had seen it before during our break, but I went back and spent a little more time in it. And they didn't borrow anything. All of these pieces are things that they have in their collection. So it was ancient Greek things and a painting from 1945. So it really spanned different genres, different time frames. And what an interesting way to use the collection a museum has and relate it to the greater events going on in the city. And museums, as we've mentioned previously for Cultural Olympiad, all over the city are doing this.
And there's so much, like, we can't even hit the tip of the iceberg. And we know that some of the listeners have been to different exhibits. We don't have time to get to those. I want to, but Paris really did an amazing job of putting together a cultural collection of events for, especially if you're not interested in sports, you can at least learn something about the history and why this is important, kind of how the history of the games ties to art and other elements of culture. It's really amazing what Paris has done.
And this one was free.
Very nice. Nice. So I went to wheelchair rugby today. I will say, going there, we're in the Champ de Mars, as you said yesterday. I was completely disoriented.
Right?
I didn't understand, but it's because we're approaching it from a different direction.
Yes.
But I got so messed up with where the river was versus where the venue was, and I just could not get that sorted in my brain. I did get into the venue.
Excellent.
What I couldn't seem to figure out is, like, it felt like media was more segregated in terms of entrances and exits in the venue part of Champ de Mars.
See, do you mean in the arena or in the venue?
In the arena, not the whole venue complex. It's the same entrance. And I know it's the same entrance as before, but I felt like before I went out to I used a spectator exit
That's
before.
That's because you're always wandering where you're not supposed to be.
I know, and I was afraid. I'm now perpetually afraid that I will never be able to find where I put my stuff. And I do not want to always take my stuff all the time when I have to, like, go to the bathroom.
Well, sweetie, always take your phone with you, okay?
I do always take my phone with me. That happens. So I totally understood where you were coming from with that. It's very bizarre. I don't know if I'll get over it. And I also think that the app told us to get off a stop too early.
Yes.
I think that really was what messed me up. I'm like, well, if you had really gone, because it told us to get off at Ponta Alma, and if we had gone all the way to Santa Mars, I think we would have gotten off in a better place.
Agreed.
And mentally, too. Even though, remember,
But now you walked through a different part of the city that we had never walked through before.
Well, I wasn't even noticing that because I was like, am I going the right direction? And then I'd just be looking up and go, well, I have to go to the Eiffel Tower. And I could see the Eiffel Tower. But, and the sad thing is, like, listeners, if you listen to our Beijing coverage, in the Paralympics, we talked about the buses and how sometimes you got a putt-putt bus and you got a chug-chug bus. You got a bus that would go really fast. Well, we had to take the RERC to get to
everywhere,
to a lot of places, and it is a putt-putt train.
but
sure.
But it is a comfortable train.
It is a comfortable train. I will say that. I mean, and I don't want to knock the transportation because the transportation here is amazing. It's really unbelievable. Public transportation is great. Although yesterday I saw my first rats on the subway. Like, it wasn't in the metro. It was in the RER. And producer Ben and I had remarked that we did not see any rats in the transportation system, which you definitely see that in America. In New York, you see it. In Boston, you see it. In Chicago, there are rats all over that place because Americans are lazy and don't throw their garbage away. And there are signs all over the place. Not all over the place, but I have seen signs. Don't litter, basically, because the rats are coming.
Yes. You see that a lot in the parks.
Yes. But it holds true for the subways. And then yesterday I was waiting for the RERC, and I was like, ooh, rats. They come. But then I also wondered that...
Did he cook?
What?
The rat?
No.
So it's not like Ratatouille?
No. Oh, that was a bad joke. But it was also... I wondered if the metro comes so often that the rats don't have a ton of time to... They're just perpetually afraid until...
Nighttime.
Yes. So I don't know. That's a question to ask a local. That it's not a burning question, so we're not going to ask. We're not going to find out. But I thought it was interesting.
I do not know what rat is in French.
Neither do I. Don't want to know. But got to wheelchair rugby, and on the way to wheelchair rugby, we got an email from Ashok Lastani who said, "I will be at Stade de France tonight doing the Trois Coupes." And I immediately responded saying, well, my evening plans have changed. Plans have changed because I was going to wheelchair basketball tonight. And I immediately went to
Okay, we'll save that. We'll save that for when we get to para-athletics.
But wheelchair rugby had halftime. Well, okay. Well, hold on. If you listen to our Olympic coverage, you know we're into floor maintenance.
and I'm sure people are very disappointed in the hotel room recording studio because there is no vacuuming. Maybe we should just record our cleaning staff when they come through our hotel room.
Maybe.
And just like throw it on the end of the show. Because they do vacuum the hotel.
They do, because we actually have carpeting in this hotel. We did not have carpeting in our last hotel.
We're lucky we had a floor in our last hotel.
But you know what? I do have audio just of vacuums that I have taken randomly throughout the Olympics. I did not know that. And maybe I'll put it underneath. If you're missing some vacuuming, I can throw it in. Let us know. But during the halftime break, you know, at wheelchair rugby, the players come out and they kind of warm up, especially players who have been on the bench all game, they warm up a little bit. And then I saw 2 people in volunteer suits, and they had brooms, kind of like Swiffer type, but they were big, round Swiffers, like definitely 2 to 2.5 feet. It's a big circle Swiffer. Yes. That was big. The radius was really big.
It was a different type of floor maintenance tool.
I know, because that's what caught my eye, and I went, ooh, this is exciting. We have a new broom in our midst. And then
then you had no idea what was about to come because I forgot to tell you about this.
No, I'm glad you didn't tell me about this because then it turned into a dance number.
So if you've ever been to Disney World, there is a show. There's actually several shows where they have alleged cleaning people or alleged staff come out on stage and do something, but they're actually part of the show. They break out into song, they break out into dance. This was that. So two girls come out and supposedly are cleaning the floor, but they're not. And then the music starts and they do a dance number.
Right. And it was just really bizarre. I was like, what is happening?
It's a floor maintenance show.
It's like they've read our minds.
We gave the pin to the right person is what happened.
All right. What volunteer or officiating job would you want to do?
I met Queen Letizia of Spain today.
What?
No, I didn't really meet her.
Okay.
But she was at Para Taekwondo. I have some very close-up pictures of her.
What? What, did she accidentally wander into the press tribune because she couldn't find the Paralympic family section?
So she was standing near our bank of seats, and I could walk down. They're much less strict, by the way, right now, I think because it's less full. So I was able to get some photos. And she was doing a meet and greet, taking pictures with kids, and there was a volunteer basically managing who could come up to take a picture with her. And she was very free with people taking pictures with her. She was like, oh, yes, bring the children, bring the children. She's lovely. She had her Team Spain kit on. You know, nothing fancy. She had on the Spain polo shirt and like the athletic pants. But I'll tell you, I recognized her right away. She looks exactly like her pictures.
Did you take a picture with her or was that interdite?
That was interdite because, you know what? It was really for the kids. Like she was having families come up and she would have spoken to me in Spanish and then I would have clearly revealed myself to be an imposter. But there was a volunteer who also, I will take her job because she was lovely. We were both like, do you think we could sneak over there and get a picture with Queen Letizia? The answer is no.
Nice. But that's cool. That was a cool night.
It was very fun. And so this volunteer was just there kind of managing people so they weren't crowding her. And of course she didn't even really have security people around her. It was very loose.
Maybe if you're, I don't want to say minor royalty, but Spain royalty is not really, you know, it's not King Charles.
Right. It's real figurehead situation.
I went to para-athletics tonight. And
there's so many there.
Oh my gosh. So I went to para-athletics and I have to say a wheelchair rugby ended and I was very worried about being on time for John Register. Foreshadowing. Very worried about being on time. And I said, I got to get there. Looked at my watch and it said like, I think 1600 and like, I'll get there. And I'll have an hour. No, I would get there in the 1600 hour and I have an hour and it'd be great. I'll be perfect. I got there 3 hours early. I don't know how I didn't I read that session time wrong. So I walked in and there's nobody around and I walked up to the venue and I could pick any seat I wanted almost. And then I realized and I looked at the time and went, oh, this doesn't start for 3 hours. And then I was like, oh, I can do stuff, but then I can't really because I spend too much time looking around at all the prep. But that's okay. And this is not a prep job. It's during the action job. So many throwing competitions tonight at para athletics. There was clubs, there was shot put, and there was javelin. And there was something I call chairs. Club throwing is a seated thing, and you have to get from your chair into your personal wheelchair into a fixed chair. And that chair gets locked in. And how it gets locked in is, and this was also for javelin. And this was not like a Justin Fong-Savant javelin class. It was some of these people could walk and were upright mobile. But they also had chairs. And for javelin, I was able to see this a little bit better because clubs was in the far corner of the track from me, and it had a net around it. But in the circle, there was like a metal half arc, and then in the back of the circle, there was like a metal row connected to the ground. And this had holes all the way through it because you take the chair, your throwing chair, and you bungee cord it to the holes in the track on the ground so that it stays stable. But there's measuring involved. There were like 5 people doing this job. Measuring involved. A lot of where are we going to put the bungee cords, because you can choose a variety of holes to stabilize it as much as possible, as much as the athlete wants to. It looked complicated. I tell you, this javelin thing went on all night. The whole session almost was a javelin competition. And now I understand why everybody does their amount of throws at one go, because the transition from one athlete to another is pretty long, because they want to make sure that everybody gets the right stability and comfort.
To make it fair.
Yeah, to make it fair and help them do their best. But it was involved, I will say. It did look cool.
You do love a good bungee cord.
You know, I was like, oh, hey, I could be part of that. And then I saw the measuring. I went, oh, that's for me. All right, let's begin the speaking of beginning the baguette, we're going to do a little baguette now. We are an independent podcast, and we are here independently, which means a lot of self-financing. And there's not a lot of media here, to be quite honest. There are 2,000 journalists of our category of journalists, and that is a fraction of what the IOC has at the Olympics. I have to look up that number. I will look up that number. But we're not even talking a half. We're talking if it's
a quarter at best.
Yes, exactly. And this is amazing interest in the Paralympics for sure. We have heard. And we love covering this stuff for you, but it does cost money. And it would help if you could support that cause to keep our flame alive. If you enjoy this show and what we bring you and how we bring you the games and make it real for you and a community that you can get involved with, please help support the show. We're just asking for $20.24 to celebrate 2024.
Though, if somebody wants to give us $2,000.24, I'm not going to say no.
No. Or $224. Or $20,024.
That's a little greedy now, Jill.
Hey, there's somebody out there in a hedge fund or venture capital who might be listening to the show and just wants to support because they like flames. They like to keep them alive. So you could look at flamealivepod.com/support for many different ways to donate. We have PayPal, we have Venmo. If you would like to be an ongoing contributor, we have Patreon, and that is a monthly fee, and you get different things, exclusives, we will say, for that. That's patreon.com/flamealivepod. All paid patrons get a special photo of the day that doesn't go anywhere else during Paris 2024. And then if you're at the $5 a month and up, you get extra content at random times when I'm not watching stuff happen, like unfold in front of me on the track and field.
Possibly involving some Uzbeks.
Whoa! We got some Uzbek content coming. Awesome. A lot of it is video. There's going to be some audio coming your way. I was at Para Athletics today and got a lot of mixed zone tape, and we're going to have mixed zone tape for everybody that's from Shukflastanis, but I have some from non-Shukflastanis, and that will be for patrons only. And some of that is from Nick Mayhew, Team USA, and some other Team USA athletes, which it's really good. I was really excited with what the athletes had to say because, and this is why we love the Paralympics, they are pretty flat out honest with you. And they got nothing to lose. They got everything to gain by getting some exposure. and they will tell it to you like it is. So if you really want to know what's going on, be a patron and sign up for that, and you'll get some of that. Patreon.com/FlameAlivePod or FlameAlivePod.com/support. And thank you to everybody who's donated so far. It's been really heartwarming. Flame kindling.
Heartwarming with flames.
That's right. So thank you again for helping us be at Paris and hopefully be at future games as well. Daily results.
Boccia.
We had individual play for both women and men in multiple classes.
Yeah. Allison Levine lost to Lady Chica Chica from Colombia 3-2.
Oh, that sounds tough. That sounds really tough. And it's such a low scoring game.
This was tight. Allison will be back for the mixed doubles tournament.
I know, but she really wanted
She's mad.
She wanted to do much better than this. So our heart goes out to you, Allison. Fuel that fire into mixed doubles. We have goalball. We had more preliminary action for men and women. In the men's, China defeated Egypt 7-4, and USA beat France 5-4. That was really close. But we ended with a tie. Brazil and Ireland tied at 7.
Iran.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Brazil and Iran tied at 7-all. In the women's preliminaries, Turkey beat
Israel.
Thank you. 5-4. China beat Brazil 3-1, and Korea beat France 6-1. Standings are kind of irrelevant because everybody moves on to the quarterfinals, and the pool standings just help seed you better for quarterfinals, which to me says more people got to get involved with goalball. So tell your friends and neighbors.
Find some people with visual impairments and get them to play goalball.
I have seen people that have been like, I hope you can play goalball someday. Please discover goalball. Para archery, we were at women's individual W1. I had the ITS medal round today. Gold went to Chen Min-yi from China. Silver went to Sarka Poltar Muslova from Czechia. And bronze went to Teresa Brandalova from Czechia. And then in the women's compound open, gold went to Osnar Kirdi from Turkey. Silver went to Fatima Himati from Iran. And bronze went to Jodie Gringham from Great Britain.
There was actually 2 people.
Yes. 2
on that bronze podium.
Yes.
Jodie is pregnant.
And very pregnant.
I think she's 7 months along.
Yes. So she talked about how her pregnancy impacts her shooting.
Yeah, she talked about, and this is, I think, I can't remember if we talked about it ourselves or if we talked about it on the show. Archery is such a body control sport. And when you are pregnant, especially at 7 months, you cannot control that little creature that you are growing. And if you as a pregnant person are still, that little person moves around. When you're moving, your baby tends to go, oh, okay, I'm here for the ride. But to still her body. So she talked about that she and her coach would do practices where the coach would move her bump around while she was trying to shoot to get her used to the idea of she didn't know how he was going to move her. So just like if the baby started flipping over as she's trying to shoot, you have to be prepared for that.
And she felt it.
And she felt it when she was going to shoot. Little Jodie decided, excuse me, Mommy. I'm not getting enough attention right now.
But
training worked.
Yeah, she got a bronze. That is an amazing story. Because we've talked about pregnant athletes at the Olympics too, but this is one of the farthest along pregnancies we've seen. And we've had pregnancies at the Paralympics because Laura Webster was...
Yeah, Laura Webster just keeps getting pregnant. Is she pregnant now? She better not be.
No, I didn't ask her. I forgot to ask.
I told her husband to stay away from her, to stop getting her pregnant before the Paralympics.
Moving over to para-athletics. This was so exciting to get this
email.
So
we got this email this morning, and John Register, who we spoke to, 3 years ago?
It's been a long time, but he's a silver medalist in long jump from Sydney 2000, and then he was a Paris swimmer at Atlanta 1996.
Yes, and he's been very involved in the movement, and he was going to do the trois coupe tonight at Para Athletics.
So I was like, I've changed my plans. I will be there. And it was like, turning around, going right to the stadium. I have to tell you, it's not different. It's not any different. Getting to the stadium, where you have to go, all the venue stuff, it's like going home, which is great. Nice and easy. I did spend some time walking around the stadium to try to find Team USA fans. And then I heard noise from inside when I was on kind of the opposite side of where I was supposed to go into. I'm like, uh-oh, did I miss the trois coupes?
But you didn't.
I did not. I missed some hype stuff.
Okay.
They had John out talking to him about what he does. And I got a picture of the Jumbotron because he was being fun with that.
Fantastic.
And then he came out and did the trois coupes, and it was fantastic. He did a great job. It was so much fun. And it was a great night at Para-Athletics. And it may have had to do with the fact that I saw maybe 5 victory ceremonies, and I have that song in my head now, and the swelling music when they get up and the gold medalist gets on the stand, and I'm just so filled with love.
May have something to do with the fact that TKFLASTAN is on the medal table now because of athletics.
It was a great night to athletics.
Okay, let's get to some results.
Yes, exactly. We're going to start with throws today. We had women's discus throw, F57 class, which is low degree of impairment in one leg or 2 feet, or an absence of limbs or 2 feet. Gold went to Nassima Saifa from Algeria, who got a Paralympic record. Silver went to Zhu Mian from China, who got a personal best today. And bronze went to Mogil Khamedova from Uzbekistan. In women's javelin, F13, which is a visually impaired class that's one of the higher degrees of visibility. Gold went to China's Zhao Yuping, who got a world record. Silver went to neutral Paralympic athlete Anna Kulinic Sorkina, and bronze went to Natalia Ader from Austria. In the women's shot put F37 class, that's a moderate impairment on one side. Gold went to Li Ying Li from China. Silver went to China's Mi Na, and bronze went to Irina Verenskaya from neutral Paralympic athletes. This was going on when I was at track and field tonight, or athletics, and I honestly couldn't pay attention to it. There was so much going on again, but I did notice that Verenskaya had on a Paris 2024 tracksuit, because we have noticed that they were very, very strict, very, very blunt, let's say, with the neutral Paralympic athlete team and how they would be recognized, because the flag looks like you're going to the generic aisle of the grocery store.
It looks like someone just stamped the letters on an empty flag, or like wrote it with a Sharpie.
Right. And because the Olympics, they created a logo, they had their own theme for them.
The IPC said, you started a war during our show in Beijing. You get a stamped flag and be grateful for it.
Right. And then I looked at the podium and like, how is she wearing a green suit? And then I got my little binoculars out, and it said Paris 2024 on the jacket. So I was like, oh, they just gave them a jacket, so they didn't have to deal with black and white stuff. Men's javelin throw, F57, which is a low degree of impairment in one leg, 2 feet, or absence of one limb or 2 feet. Gold went to Yorkenbek Odilov from Uzbekistan. Silver went to Muhammad Kalivandi from Turkey, and bronze went to Cicero Valderon Linsnobre from Brazil. This was going on most of the night because they had a lot of chairs took a long time. And I understand that because it's very precise, but I also understand, like, wow, this is very involved with getting sitting javelin, anything sitting throws is tough management, I would say. Then we had men's club throw. F32 is a seated class, high impairment in trunk and legs, arms and affected arms and hands. There were a lot of athletes in this who did not have very good control of their motor skills. And there was he didn't even make the podium, but there were some athletes who were very, very jacked, I would say, arm-wise. There were some athletes who threw sideways, like it's like a hammer throw, basically, I would say. Similar to what you would have for a hammer throw. You have a club here. There were athletes who had their backs to the field and they were facing the nets and threw backwards. And that's how they could do it. It was really fascinating. And club throw seems to be popular in certain areas of the world that I would say like Central Asia. And Central, like Greece was also big. So that Greece, Turkey, Middle Eastern, Northern Africa, and into like the Caucasus region. America, get into club throwing. It was so cool looking. It really, really was. I could have watched that all night. Just that alone. It was fun. They had on the feed, they had the numbers marked on the field so you could tell how far they were going. And they could whip those clubs so far. I was really, really impressed. And so gold went to Alexei Churkin from Neutral Paralympic Athletes. Silver went to Antiasios Konstantinidis from Greece, who got a personal best today. And bronze went to Ahmed Mejias from Algeria. And this is another one where they get 6 attempts and they go all in one throw. So as an athlete, I would think how you draw, and I think we talked with Justin about this.
Yes, we did.
How you draw is so important because if you go first, you have to set the tone and then you have to sit there and wait and see, were you good enough? But it was really, really cool. Looks like a lot of fun. We have these weighted clubs at home. They're just like a pound or two.
Are you going to start throwing them?
I might tell Ben. We got to start throwing them.
Well, I think what you need to tell is your neighbors.
We have a long yard. Then we had men's shot put, F12, a visual impaired class with moderate impairment. Gold went to Elbek Zoltanov from Uzbekistan, who got a personal best. Silver went to Volodymyr Polomarenko from Ukraine, who got a personal best as well. And bronze went to Roman Danilyuk from Ukraine. And some of these finals were in the morning. So, like, during the Olympics, it was like heats in the morning and finals at night.
Too many finals.
Finals all day long.
Yeah.
Not a bad session to be had, I will say that. Track. We had men's 100 T12, which is a visual impairment with constricted vision. Gold went to Serkan Yildirim from Turkey. Silver went to Noah Malone from the USA. And bronze went to Jofstern Mahirno de Oliveira from Brazil. This evening, we had the men's 100 T38 class, which is a low impairment in the lower trunk and legs, one side or all body. Oh my gosh, this was a race. Our Jaydin Blackwell was in it. World record.
As you will. So he broke his own world record.
He broke his own world record, which he set at para track and field trials. That was 10:64. Not a bad time at all. He was, he looked so far ahead of the rest of the field, even though he was only like 0.3 ahead. It was no contest whatsoever. He was so focused and so into it. And this race, they actually had a couple of delays. Some of it was one of the athletes from China, I believe, had a band that they had to wear on their hand to keep their hamstring in place. And it wasn't fitting right. And so they delayed the start. And one of the U.S. athletes helped him get the band on.
I saw that video that the other athletes were helping each other. So that was the situation.
So much camaraderie here. It was really, really cool. And there was a French athlete. So that was Dmitry Yoswicki. Crowd goes wild. And then Nick Mayhew comes out.
Oh, no.
And silence. And he's like, come on, people, come on. And nobody was clapping.
And he's such a fired up kind of runner when he comes out. It's get the noise, get the funk, get everything going.
And he could not get the noise or the funk going from the crowd. So I felt really bad for him that way. Nick is known for having intense hair dye jobs, I would say. And he said in the mix zone that this hair is his MRI of his brain.
Is it black and white?
No, it's multicolored.
Oh, okay.
But he has the spot because he's got there's a dead spot in his brain. So the dead spot's on his head as well, on his hair. It's really cool. That story was really interesting to hear. Nick has a lot to say. I will just tell you that. If you're a patron, you're going to find out soon. Gold went to Jaydin Blackwell with a world record. Silver went to Ryan Medrano, who is going to be a citizen of TKFLASTAN, if I have anything to say about it. He came through the mix zone too and was so fantastic to talk to. And
we are going to do follow-up stories of people's Paris experiences. Right. So Ryan, we're coming for you. Poor thing doesn't even know what's going to hit him.
No, it's going to be so exciting. He got a personal best today. He was so excited. And he said, yeah, you always want to be best. But he's like, I got the 400 too. And my 400 is better than Jaydin's 400.
Oh, yeah! Talking smack already.
That was great. And then bronze went to Juan Alejandro Campos Sanchez from Colombia, who also got a personal best. It was great. Nick Mayhew finished 7th.
Wow.
Not happy about it.
No, I would expect not.
Right. And we remember Nick Mayhew as a star of Tokyo. Nick got reclassified last year.
Oh.
So he got put into a higher class, which makes it more difficult for him. The word on the street is that they said he was too fast for the class he was in. So they classed him up. I am kind of curious how that works for him. He has things to say about classification. He's getting reclassified again next year. He has to go through a lot of classifications because of his disability. And that is, for us, really interesting to talk about. So hopefully we can get him on the show too. Men's 1500 meter T46, which is one or both arms. Partial absence of one arm or both hands. Gold went to Alexander Romanchuk from neutral Paralympic athletes. Silver went to Michael Roger from Australia. And bronze went to Antoine Proud from France, who got a personal best. Men's 5,000 meter T13, visually impaired class with a restricted field of view. Gold went to Yassine Oudafi El Atabi from Spain. Silver went to Alexander Kostin from neutral Paralympic athletes. And bronze went to Anton Kuliatin, also neutral athlete. Men's 5,000 meter T54 class wheelchair. Daniel Romanchuk.
And Marcel Hugh.
I know. This is a race where I was, again, we talked about wanting the feed earlier. And listeners, if you can watch this on YouTube, if you can watch any Paralympic feeds on YouTube, please tell us how to do it. We cannot figure it out. We cannot find them.
I think we may be geo-blocked from stuff.
That makes sense. But I got to watch this race again because so much it's a long race, but so much happened. First off, I have to say, if you are a wheelchair athlete and you have to wear a helmet for your race, please take a cue from Marcel Hugh, because that silver bullet helmet was so easy to see who it was.
Make it something distinctive. You see that silver helmet, no matter any picture you see of him, you know it's Marcel Hugh. The man doesn't know he is my best friend.
He led from the start.
Yeah, he does that.
And somebody challenged him.
He said no.
He said no, of course not. But 2 laps to go, the pack packs up. Because everybody was in a line and all drafting off him. So Marcel's doing all of the work.
And he's old.
Yeah, he's in his late 30s. I know, we can laugh at that. 2 laps to go, he's passed by so many. He gets stuck in the pack. He does get out of the pack, but who else gets out? Who had been way in the back was our Daniel Romanchuk, who who we just talked to. And he gets out and gets ahead, beats Marcel Hugh in a photo finish by 0.05 of a second. Oh, no, 0.5 of a second. Sorry, it's 0.5. It was so close. And then I watched everybody cross the line. And then all of a sudden you hear kind of a crash. And 2 athletes go down before they can cross the finish line.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there was a crash. Everyone seemed to be okay. I think there's some scrapes because one of the athletes came through and said when he was in the mix zone, he's like, oh, this is going to hurt soon.
Oh, right. When you cool down and the bruises form.
This was Brian Seaman from the U.S. and got into it with Putak Kongrat from Thailand. So they both went down. Everybody seemed to be okay because even though medical brought out stretchers, they just got back into their chairs and went up. So it was a super exciting race. I will say that. Daniel Romanchuk from the U.S. and TKFLASTAN wins gold. Marcel Hugh from Switzerland wins silver. And Fazal Al-Raheyi from Kuwait wins bronze. I have to say, when I saw the victory ceremony, I felt a changing of the guard. As you saw Marcel Hugh in the silver medal position, like, this might be it for him for Paralympics. He may still do marathons for a while, but I think he had alluded to that when I was in the Athletes Village, and I think this is a changing of the guard.
Well, he's got 3 more races, so don't count him.
No,
don't put him out to pasture yet.
No, that's true. That's true.
But yes, I think there is that shift in this T54 class that we're seeing it. And oh gosh, to see Daniel Romanchuk beat him on the one hand is fantastic. On the one hand is that shift. It's okay. Now we're seeing that change. But man, hey, TKFLASTAN got another gold medal.
Woo. Women's 100 meter T38 class, which is a low impairment in the lower trunk and legs, or one side or around the body. Gold went to Karen Tatiana Palomake Moreno from Colombia with a world record. Silver went to Alida Maria Montepoulou from Greece with a personal best. And bronze went to Darian Fazri Jimenez Sanchez from Colombia. In the women's 400 meter T47 class, which is a low to modern impairment in one arm or absence of a hand, gold went to Fernanda Yara da Silva from Brazil, who got a personal best. Silver went, the whole podium gets personal best tonight. It's been a fantastic meet, I will say, because a lot of personal best, and you always want to see that. A lot of Paralympic records, a lot of there was an amazing world record later, I will tell you. Silver went to Lisbeli Marina Vera Andraja from Venezuela, and bronze went to Maria Clara Augusta da Silva from Brazil. In the women's 400 meter T11 class, which is visually impaired with a guide runner, gold went to Laha Ishitila from Namibia with her guide Sem Shimanda, Paralympic record there. Silver went to Talita Vittoria Simplicio da Silva with guide Felipe Velasolo da Silva, and bronze, they're from Brazil, and bronze went to China's He Shashan from with guide Yu Jun Ji, personal best on the night. I have to say, it was interesting to see a lot of women in the visually impaired classes who had male guide runners.
That seems to be the norm.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a spouse or significant other or relative that does that, because a lot of relatives do the assistant roles and things like that. But you have the height differential. Not always, not tons. It's not always dramatic, but there's something, and there's a stride. And every once in a while I could see or feel just by looking at them, like, oh, I got to hold back because I'm the guide. I got to hold back because I'm the guide, because they're very strict about that.
The guide cannot cross the line first. The athlete has to cross the line first. Or as we saw yesterday, there was a disqualification.
Oh.
Because the guide crossed first.
Oh. And you really had to be careful because the guide really can't pull along for any big chunk of the race. but to see that in a way holding back because you have to match the stride of the runner, the athlete. So it was really interesting to see again on the list for good relationship talk. In the T13 class for women's 1500 meter, this is also visually impaired with a restricted field of view. Gold went to Atias Gengejan Menigsu from Ethiopia. Silver went to Fatima Israha El Idrisi from Morocco, and bronze went to Liza Corzo from the USA. She was in the silver medal position until the very end. She did not look happy with how that turned out. I hate to say it because she do win a medal, but she just didn't have a kick, and El Idrisi had a kick in there. That was a tough race to see end. In the women's 5,000 meter T54 wheelchair class with a full range of body and arm movements, gold went to Katharina de Bruyne from Switzerland with the Paralympic record. Silver went to Susanna Scaroni from the USA, and bronze went to Madison de Rosario from Australia. In jumps, we had women's long jump T64 class, which is a moderate impairment in one lower leg or absence of a leg below the knee. Gold went to Fleur Young from Netherlands with the Paralympic record. She was actually in the Paralympic Village doing interviews when I was there and seemed very excited about the competition.
Gee, I wonder why. Paralympic record, gold medal.
Right. Silver went to Marlene van Ganswinkel from Netherlands with a personal best, and bronze went to B. Hatz from the USA. In the men's long jump T63 class, which is a moderate impairment in one lower leg or absence of one leg above the knee, we also had a T42 class, which is a little more impaired in with them because it was just one person. But in this class, gold went to Joel de Jong from Netherlands, who got a world record at the end. It was an unbelievable jump, and he beat the world record by like 100th. It was just stellar. Silver went to Daniel Wagner from Denmark. He got a personal best.
Were the Danes there? Were the Dane fans there?
Were there? The Danish fans were there. And he had also broken the Paralympic record, too. Like, the Paralympic record kept getting broken, and then de Jong finally broke the world record. And that was just like, well, that's it.
I guess he's going to win.
And it was, like, one of the, his last jump. So it was right at the end. And then Noah Yamba from Netherlands got bronze with a personal best. Also in this race, it was where the press tribune is and where the long jump is are opposite sides. So it's helpful to watch a feed. And on our list, on my questions, how long is the bottom of a running blade compared to your foot? Because there were a lot of scratches. And I don't know how it compares to able-bodied scratches, but Ezra Fretch from the USA was there. He scratched by like millimeters. It was so close, but there was a lot of scratching going on. The other one I want to mention, the other athlete I'd like to mention is Wagner Astasio from Dominican Republic. He's in the T42 class. He did set a Paralympic record. He did like one jump and then scratched and then retired. He's the only athlete there. He has one leg, uses a crutch, does not have a blade like every other athlete in this event did. And he hopped and jumped from a hopping thing. And I was just like, please, somebody get him a running blade for competitions. I don't know the whole story. We've tried to get information, and there's not a whole lot out there because he's from a small country and they don't have a whole lot of resources. But it was incredible to see what you can do. But also you're like, it felt so mismatched with everybody else. Even though I knew he was in a different classification, it was hard to see. Para-badminton, we still have men's and women's singles and doubles going on. We had group play through semifinals in several classes, so we will have medals coming up there soon, which means we're going to have to go to Port de la Chapelle.
David LaChapelle is coming to
exactly.
Is he coming with Jackie Chan?
But that trip is in the offing, which I'm excited about because that was a good
It's a good venue.
It's a good venue. Paracycling track. We had the women's C1 to 3 classes combined for 500 meter time trial. They have a higher level of impairment. Gold went to Amanda Reed from Australia. Silver went to Chiang Wenwei, who got a C1 world record. She is from China. And bronze went to Micah Hausberger from Germany. We had the men's C1 through 3 class 1,000 meter time trial. That's also a higher level of impairment. Gold went to China's Li Zhangyu. Silver went to China's Liang Weikong. And bronze went to Alexander Loita from France, which must have been crazy in that velodrome. Lute. I'm sorry. Thank you. Lute.
He's my friend now with his floppy hair.
Men's C4 4,000 individual pursuit. Low level of impairment on one side or hips and legs. Absence of partial limbs. Gold went to Josef Metelka from Slovakia. Silver went to Archie Atkinson from Great Britain, and bronze went to Gaëtan Larusso from France. Again, the crowd must have been great today. They got a show. They got a real good show. Men's C5 4,000 meter individual pursuit. One arm is affected in this, or one leg is moderately affected. Gold went to Dorian Foulon from France. Silver went to Yehor Dementiev from Ukraine, and bronze went to Eloan Garden from USA. Para rowing had repechage rounds for men's and women's singles, sculls, mixed double sculls, and mixed coxed 4, which means we get results soon. I hate to say it, we're not getting there.
I don't think we're getting there.
Para rowing happens early in the morning.
And quick.
Yes, it's like maybe a 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock event, and para rowing is over an hour out there. So that's unfortunately not one that's easy to get to for us in the morning because we also have late nights. Para swimming. We had, let's go starting with 50 meter backstroke. We have for the men S1, that's the highest level of impairment. Gold went to Kamil Otowski from Poland. Silver went to Francesco Batella from Italy, and bronze went to Anton Kol from Ukraine. In the same distance S2 class, which is a high level of impairment but more arm mobility, gold went to Gabriel dos Santos Araújo from Brazil. Silver went to Vladimir Delanenko from Neutral Paralympic Athletes, and bronze went to Alberto Caroli Abraza Diaz from Chile. In the women's version of that race, gold went to Yip Ping Zhu from Singapore. Silver went to Heidi Viviana Aceves Perez from Mexico, and bronze went to Teresa Perales from Spain. Nice mix of countries, to say that. We're going to 100 meter backstroke now, S8 class, which is a lot of different body types and limbs. They're almost at full capacity, but lack all around muscle power. Gold went to, for the men, gold went to Inigo Lopez Sanz from Spain. Silver went to Kota Kubota from Japan. And bronze went to Mark Maliar from Israel. For the women, gold went to Alice Tai from Great Britain, Paralympic record. Silver went to Victoria Ishlichkova from Neutral Paralympic Athletes. And bronze went to Mira Jean Amak from Germany. Jessica Long was in that.
She finished 6th.
In the S12 class, which is a visual impaired class with this restricted field of view, 100 meter backstroke, both men and women. For the men, Stephen Clegg from Great Britain got gold and a world record. Silver went to Raman Saleh from Azerbaijan, and bronze went to Yaroslav Denisenko from Ukraine. For the women, gold went to Maria Carolina Gomes Santiago from Brazil. Silver went to Anna Stetsenko from Ukraine, and bronze went to Maria Delgado Nadal from Spain. We have 50-meter freestyle S11 class, which is visual impairment, near total impairment, blackout goggles. They have the backed tappers. For the men, gold went to Kimura Keiichi from Japan. Silver went to Hua Dongdad from China, and bronze went to Wendell Bellarmino Pereira from Brazil. For the women, gold went to Ma Jia from China. Silver went to Carolina Pelandrintu from Cyprus, and bronze went to Marina Bedumna from Ukraine.
And hey, Mejia got a world record.
Nice. 200-meter freestyle S14 class, which is an intellectual impairment. Gold for the men. Gold went to William Ellard from Great Britain.
World record.
Silver went to Nicholas Bennett from Canada. Bronze went to Jack Ireland from Australia. And for the women, gold went to Valeria Shabalina from Neutral Athletes. Silver went to Poppy Maskill from Great Britain. Wait a second. Did we talk about her yesterday?
Yeah, she got a world record and a gold medal the night I was there.
And bronze went to Louise Fiddes from, I believe,
Great
Brazil.
Britain.
Great Britain. Okay. Oh, I see that. Yeah, it's pretty incredible. 400-meter freestyle S13 class, which is visually impaired. They have a restricted peripheral vision, but they can see pretty far. Gold for the men went to Ihar Boki from Neutral Athletes. Silver went to Alex Portal from France, and bronze went to Kilian Portal from France.
They're brothers.
Oh, man.
They're going to have a party in the Portal Porte tonight.
In the women, gold went to Shoklastani Olivia Chambers from the U.S. Silver went to Carlotte Gili from Italy, and bronze went to Anna Stetsenko from Ukraine. So this is the first medal for Olivia Chambers, which is really exciting. 2 seconds ahead of the field. So it was a nice, clean victory for her. Finally, we have the 200-meter individual medley SM7 class, which is, I hate to call it a hodgepodge, but there's a lot of stuff going on that affects the ability to do power. So you could see loss of limbs, you could see people with short stature, you could see arm amputees. So a lot of different things there. Gold went to Inaki Bazalov from Argentina. Silver went to Andrei Trusov from Ukraine, and bronze went to Yevgeny Bodakayo from Ukraine for the men. For the women, gold went to Mallory Wegman from USA, who got a Paralympic record. Silver went to Tess Routliff from Canada, and bronze went to Julia Gaffney from the US. Para table tennis, we had some more doubles day. Let's just call it doubles day. Women's, men's, mixed. We have medals. Men's double MD4, which is a wheelchair class. Gold went to Peter Lovas and Jana Riapos from Slovakia. Silver went to Jang Jung-jin and Park Sung-ju from Korea. And bronzes, because this is a sport that has dual bronzes, those went to France's Fabien Lamarot and Julien Anmachaud from France, and Cha Sung-young and Park Jin-chol from Korea. For the MD8 wheelchair class in men's doubles, gold went to Cao Nining from China and Fang Pen Fang from China. Silver went to Valentin Baus and Thomas Schmiedberger from Germany, and bronzes went to Abdullah Öztürk and Nezim Turan from Turkey, and Wanchan Chaiwut and Yuzijak Klimbanchun from Thailand. Women's doubles WD20 standing class, gold went to Australia, Li Nan Lei and Chang Yang. Silver went to Chinese Taipei, the team of Lin Tzu Yu and Tian Xiao Wen. Bronzes went to Brazil and Poland. Brazil is Bruna Alexandra and Daniela Rowan, and Poland's Natalia Partika and Karolina Peck. And one more to women's doubles class in the wheelchair WD10. Gold went to China, Gu Xiaodang and Pan Jiamin. Silver went to Serbia, that's the team of Nada Matic and Borislava Peric Rankovic. And bronzes went to two Korean teams, Jung Yoon A and Mun Sung Hye, and also Kang Hui Jung and Lee Ming Gyu. Mixed doubles XD17 class, that's the standing class. Gold went to Xiao Shui and Mao Jingdian from China. Silver went also to China, Peng Weinan and Zhang Guyan. And bronzes went to Poland's Peter Grustian and Karolina Peck, and Ukraine's Viktor Dudka and Irina Shinkarova. Taekwondo.
I was at Taekwondo all day long. And I want to tell you the most exciting thing I learned about para Taekwondo. They have sensor socks.
For points?
Yes. So it's a kicking sport. You kick in the chest, and it's the sensor in the sock that registers the point.
And is it that the triggers the tonk?
Yes, that is what triggers that gong sound. That's from the sensor sock. It's not the only way you can get points, obviously, because there's more complicated rules involved. But when I found out about the sensor socks, that was all. And then so I talked to the woman from World Taekwondo, and it turns out that the sensor socks are not super sensitive sensor socks. You have to have some impact into it. So it's not just touching. You actually have some force behind the kick.
Which makes sense, because when I watched last night, you'd see touching and there would be no tonk. So points didn't register, and I wondered, but that must be because you have to make an impact.
Correct. There was a lot of Uzbekistani fighters competing. The Uzbeks showed up. They showed up with a trumpet. They showed up with a drum. They showed up in mass. They cheered so loudly and vigorously for their fighters, obviously, but also just in general. There was a lot of getting the crowd to sing, getting the crowd to chant, getting the crowd to... There was chants that involved taking your phone out with the light, and you would take your light out and then you put the light away. There was music during break time. The guy would break out the trumpet if they were doing a video review.
And the Uzbeks were doing this, not the Club France.
No, this was the Uzbek fans. I want to say there was a very large group of maybe 10 to 15 of them that came to the first session and sat in one place, and then they came back for the second session and sat in a different place.
And that's a lot of people they can make something happen.
They did.
They did. Awesome.
And
that really sounds awesome. It is awesome when other fans, because we know the French are just fanatic about France and the French athletes, but when other countries' fans show up and make the same stuff happen, that's special. They're special.
And I don't think if there were French Taekwondo athletes in the competition, they got knocked out very early. So there was no French for the French to cheer for. So there was a big British contingent and a big Uzbek contingent. And honestly, the Brits need to pick up their game. I was a little surprised the trumpet and the drum got in through security, because the drum was big. It wasn't like a little hand drum. It was like a big drum on the floor with two really big sticks.
Maybe they just said pound it. And they went, okay, it's a drum. Sounds hollow on the inside.
It was so much energy. The crowd was not, the stands were not full. You wouldn't know it because the Uzbeks came.
Nice.
So they had a lot to cheer about. In the men's under 80 kilograms, gold went to Uzbekistan, Sadbek Tashtemirov. Silver went to Luis Mario Nahera from Mexico, and bronzes went to Alireza Bakht from Iran and Ji Young Ju from Korea. And Ju got hurt at one point in his competition. So they all kind of carried him up to the podium. Yeah. It was good. I'm going to skip and go back. So in the women's over 65 kilogram, gold went to Amy Truesdale from Great Britain. Silver went to Guljonoi Nemova from Uzbekistan. And bronzes went to Elena Papastamatopoulos from Greece and Rejay Akramak from Morocco. Okay, I do want to talk about this a little bit because Amy Truesdale in the gold medal match hit Nemova with an accidental shot either in the chin or the throat. But it was an illegal hit. She goes down. Nemova goes down and stays down. At the time, the score was 8-1. It was maybe halfway through the time. Medical comes out. Nemova ends up being carried off the mat on a stretcher.
Oh, no.
Uzbek's staff make a complaint saying it was an intentional hit, not an accidental hit. Because if it was intentional, then Truesdale would have been disqualified and Nemova would have won the gold medal. It was determined to be an accidental hit. Nemova was awarded a point, but still have to withdraw. So Truesdale is awarded the gold medal. Here's where we get into trouble. Truesdale wants to celebrate. Fine. She does a little backflip and cartwheel and split in the middle of the mat and starts running around with the flag. And I honestly was with the Uzbek fans who started booing her. You won by kicking a girl in the throat. I don't care if it was accidental. That behavior, Amy Truesdale, was disgusting. It was unsportsmanlike and it was wrong. Yeah, celebrate your gold medal, but be appropriate. Your competitor just got carried off on a stretcher. Grow up. Wow. I got a little mad. Thankfully, I will say this, Nemova was able to come out for her medal ceremony. And the Uzbeks rightfully went wild. She was crying before she even got on the podium. And the way those fans really embraced her. I was concerned, actually, that the Uzbekistani fans would like turn their backs on Amy Truesdale, but they didn't. They were gracious and honorable and just wanted to celebrate Nemova's silver medal. So nicely done, my new Uzbek friends.
I wonder what the celebration is like back in Uzbekistan.
It was, well, we have said Uzbekistan a lot tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And they are hauling.
I hope they're getting some press.
I hope so too. So now we're going to talk about Evan Medell in the over 80 kilogram class. So this was, when I said before, it was an emotional night. So in his semifinal, he looked great in his first match. He competed against Eliasgab Ramazanov. Evan was leading most of the match as Manovanov caught up to him. 7 seconds are left. Ramazanov is penalized. So Evan's given a point. And we've got 7 seconds left. But the coaches say, nope, we're going to protest that point. It then is reversed. And Evan gets the penalty.
What?
They're tied. And then Ramazanov gets a point with 3 seconds left. So in the last 7 seconds of the match, he was secure to win and go to the gold medal, and then it just completely upended.
And I saw stuff like this in para taekwondo too. It along with judo are these sports where everything is done in a split second, and you can win or lose, and it's like mental. It's interesting, the people who are drawn to the sport, because why you're drawn to the sport, a lot of contact stuff, a lot of getting aggression out that's really helpful, and it's a fun challenge to overpower somebody or kick somebody, not in the head, but I totally understand what you mean, Evan. But to lose it all in a second.
It was rough. It was an emotional roller coaster for me, and I'm not invested.
Oh, you are invested. Come on, it's heaven.
I got to tell you, I had a hard time sitting in the Tribune for the rest of the night. It was rough. It was rough because it was so fast, and he was fighting so well. And I'm like, he is going to do this. And then boom, it's just gone.
How do you deal with that, especially when you look so good?
Yeah, well, you come back and you win the bronze medal is what you do. Okay. He won that bout 13-1.
Whoa.
Yeah, and he came out fired up. So I did get to talk to him in the mixed zone, and he said, yeah, he was not going to lose that bronze medal.
Good.
So gold went to Matt Bush from Great Britain. Silver went to Alaskab Ramazanov from Neutral Paralympic Athletes. Evan Medell from the United States won bronze, as did Hamed Hagshenes from Iran.
You know, I'm going to interlude with, I forgot to tell you a story from Cultural Begin the Baguette. When I left track, you know how you have to go all the way to the end to get to the bus?
Did somebody kick you in the throat and
No.
then celebrate it?
But our gate to the bus, because you have to go down, there's a gate and then a staircase down, and then you get to the bus, because that's street level. Well, there's always gendarmes or police or somebody like mobbed around this little gate area. And I always think that it's closed and I will be interdict from getting to my bus. And one of the gendarmes started talking to me in French. I'm like, what's going on? And then I realized he wants to trade pins. The pin trading for all of
the gendarme are so into it.
The security people are into it. For how little pin trading there was during the Olympics, the Paralympic people get it and they love doing it. So the gendarme is all like, will you trade with me? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm totally trading. So we do some trading, and then this woman in an orange vest comes and is like, let's trade. You want to trade? I'm going to trade. And I'm thinking, I got to get to my bus. I don't want the bus to leave on me.
Because then you will be stranded at Stade de France.
Right? And then I realized the woman in the orange vest is the bus driver.
Perfect.
Like, well, I'm going to make the bus. This will be great. Let me.
And she's going to drive extra carefully and make sure you get safely to your destination.
Exactly.
Because you've made her happy.
Exactly. And everybody got pins they liked. That was great because the gendarme was all about USA pins. And he's like, you have a USA pin? Oh, like, okay. You're like, oui. So fun day. Shooting Paris sport. We had SH1 class, which is lower body impairment. It's a rifle class. They hold the rifle without the stand. Men's 10-meter gold went to Korea's Park Jin-ho. Silver went to Yerkin Gabazov from Kazakhstan. And bronze went to Martin Black Jorgensen from Denmark. And apparently our gold medalist was almost eliminated with a handful of shots remaining. So he was really nervous, but he focused. And it was just like, oh. Again, another sport I want to see on the feed. I'm really sorry that they're so far away.
That one's real. That's truly unreachable.
Mm-hmm. And I totally understand, like, watching it is probably a little difficult, or a little maybe watching paint dry, but it could also be very calming. Never know. Women's 10-meter air pistol SH1 final. Gold went to Sarah Yavan Mardi from Iran. Silver went to Aysel Ozgan from Turkey. And bronze went to Rubina Francis from India. Our gold medalist would like to retire.
Well, she's got a collection.
Not bad. Not a complete set.
No, but she has 5.
4 golds and a bronze across 4 games. She's going to focus now on training the next generation. Sitting volleyball today, we had 4 games, 2 for each men and women in the prelim rounds. For the women, Slovenia beat Rwanda 3-1, and Brazil beat Canada 3-1. In the men's, Bosnia-Herzegovina beat Kazakhstan 3-2. Ooh, that's a match. And Egypt beat France 3-0. We have some wheelchair basketball prelim rounds. Canada beat Great Britain 63-54, and Netherlands beat USA 69-56. But Netherlands is the defending gold medalist, so we know that's going to be a tough team. In the men's side, Great Britain beat Canada 88-58. USA beat Netherlands 60-34. Our Brian Bell.
18 points, 11 rebounds.
Nice. But it's interesting the disparity in the men's game versus the women's game.
Yeah, Netherlands is such a powerhouse on the women's side, and the men obviously good enough to qualify, but not a particularly strong team. It almost feels like a soccer in the U.S., how the women are so much stronger than the men. And I wonder if that has to do with what countries have men's versus women's wheelchair sports.
Mm. And then the final game is Germany beating France 72-64. Wheelchair rugby. One of the things that really stood out to me, because you talked about Sarah Adam playing for the U.S. yesterday, there's a lot of women in this tournament.
Is this the most women we've had?
Most women we've had. I emailed Wheelchair Rugby because I was like, how many women do we have? And how does it compare to Tokyo? So Tokyo had 4 women. We had an Australian, a woman from Denmark, woman from Great Britain, woman from Japan. 4. Now we have 8.
Nice. 3 of them are on Australia.
Yes, 3 on Australia. We have 5 countries, so the U.S. got added into there. 3 of them are returning Paralympians, so you really noticed it. And they were getting some playing time. Like Sophie Skobo from Denmark, she was on the court a lot. Sarah Adams on the court a lot.
Sarah Adam, let me tell you something about Sarah Adam. I have decided, back in Tokyo, I did call Chuck Aoki the Michael Jordan of wheelchair rugby.
Yes.
He's got a Scottie Pippen.
He does. That's exactly right. That is exactly right.
And it is Sarah Adam.
And it was beautiful.
Gorgeous
Gorgeous playing together. It just dialed in. USA beat Germany 57-47. It was pretty close and back and not quite back and forth, but within a couple of points. And then just at the end, USA pulled that out. Chuck Aoki did fall over, and he did need a Swiffer behind him because he sweats.
He's working hard.
He is working hard.
It's hard to carry the entire sport of wheelchair rugby on your back.
I will say, the thuds you were talking about in person are real, and they are awesome. It is so cool. But what you didn't tell me about was the pickup mats.
We talked about that during Tokyo. We had a whole conversation, I think offline, about how they put the whole process of picking people up when they fall over.
Well, they lay down a mat.
They lay down a mat because otherwise the wheels would just keep spinning.
Right. But you did
And there's different techniques for different teams depending on who
that's,
does that.
That's not what's important. It's important that the mat has the pictogram on it. And it is gorgeous. And I would totally be the person who would want to handle the pickup mat because I would be handling it back into my baggage to take home and use as like a big welcome mat or something like that. I was all over that, I will say. They were really, really sweet. So as we said, USA picked up a win. And then I also saw Australia versus Denmark. Australia won 53-49. Ooh, they are bruisers. That is a tough team to beat.
Josh Nicholson is just there to hit people.
They were, and it was awesome.
That's all he's there for. He comes on the court and you're like, oh, he's here to hit people.
And you had an Australian contingent in the crowd. You had a big Denmark contingent in the crowd. The streamers were back. It was fun.
Did you find Bo Vernon's family?
No.
They're my friends. Don't try and take them away.
I won't. Great time today at Wheelchair Rugby. So much fun to see in person. I will say this, though. They have a 40-second shot clock. And in the U.S. game, I did notice it. Stuff got slow. because they were trying to kill time, especially with somebody in the penalty box. So if you had control of the ball and the opposite team had somebody in the penalty box, you just sat there and it was boring and people noticed. And it wasn't until the end and you needed to pick up the scoring that it got good.
I wonder if that's because and I hate to disparage a team. The teams that I saw were more closely matched, so they couldn't do that as much.
I don't know, because and the other reason to do this is they're if you've got somebody in the box, they're a man down until a try is scored, and then the box is cleared out. So if your person is in the box, you want to clear it out as quickly as possible. If the opposite team is in the box, you want to kill time. And that got slow and it got a little boring. I will say the Denmark-Australia game, oh my gosh, there were a lot of tries right at the end, and really dramatic. Somebody almost going over, but not quite. And it was really phenomenal. The crowd was so into it. It was so much fun to watch. Other prelims in the afternoon, Japan beat Canada 50-46. Japan is coming to play.
Unexpected from me. I missed the memo on Japan.
And then Great Britain beat France 50-49. Can you imagine being in that arena with those the French fans?
And there's a lot of Brits who have come over.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So this was I'm sure, a very rockin' stadium.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we've got semifinals. Speaking of missing Japan, so it's Japan versus Australia and USA versus Great Britain.
Thank goodness. I was really, really worried that USA was not going to make the semifinals.
I know. This is a tight tournament.
Exciting, though.
I feel like I should bring some heart medication to go to the semifinal.
What I want to know, and something I want to look into, as we're going to talk on this show about planning future shows, and then we'll forget we planned these. I do want to explore how the women's game is evolving, and if because we do see women on men's teams, but as we talked sled hockey
with Monica Quimby.
Thank you. The men's hockey team in the U.S. is so talented, and the pool is deep enough that it's very hard for a woman to get on the men's team, so the women's side has developed. Yet in wheelchair rugby, you have women on the same level as the men and being an integral part of the team, but how many other women, how deep is the women's pool? And how deep is the men's pool? And do we have enough to develop a women's game? Because it would be cool at some point to have men's tournament and women's tournament.
Oh, I disagree. I would like to see it continue to be a mixed tournament, just more women in it. I like that. Well, I always love mixed events.
Yeah, you do.
I am a big fan of mixed events. And especially this event. I think just because they call it murder ball for a reason. There's a lot of smash mouth going on, but also as the sport has developed, we're seeing more finesse and technique. And I like the idea of the teams being mixed gender. And you have the success of a Sarah Adam and the other women players, chicken and egg. You see more women play, you get more women to play.
Yeah, I want 2 tournaments because I want more wheelchair.
Okay, fair enough.
Wheelchair tennis, we had first round action for women's and singles, quad singles, men's doubles. Our TKFLASTAN David Wagner played today. He was defeated by Turkey's Kaplan Ahmet.
Yeah, Ahmet Kaplan.
Sorry, thank you. 6-1, 6-2. So quick in and out for David in this tournament. He's been in a lot of games.
I mean, the man is 475 years old. And he's played 367 Paralympic Games. He's the same age as we are.
Exactly. So I am hopefully going to wheelchair tennis tomorrow. Well, never hold that schedule because we don't know if we're going to get an email tomorrow saying, "Hey, this is going on." So hopefully, I'm excited to go back out to Roland Garros and see some tennis. There are some really big stars playing tomorrow. Deidre Groot is playing for the Netherlands. She is unstoppable. Basically, she is an amazing player, and I'm hoping to see her, maybe Alfie Hewitt in person.
Oh, I'll get there.
Yeah.
I got plans tomorrow.
Plans you won't tell me. So this is exciting. We have a couple of exciting events. I don't know what you're doing, but I got something exciting planned too.
Me too.
Awesome. So, mascot.
Yes, the official mascots for Shuklastan for the first week of the Paralympics are Sunny and Sadie, and I will never get tired of talking about Sunny and Sadie. I adore these guinea pigs. They became a part of listener. Would you stop with the squeaking?
I'm just talking guinea pig. I could do what Pa Jaracz would do and just move my nose because I had a guinea pig we had guinea pigs growing up.
Oh, did you?
Yes, exactly. So my father, this is not good for podcasting. So my father would go, he'd look at the guinea pig and go, this is what Patches would say. And then he'd wiggle his nose.
Well, listener Don's family is not insulting to Sunny and Sadie.
My father was not insulting. Don, if you move your nose like Pa Jaracz, let me know.
And they became a part of the family because his daughter did a school report on guinea pigs and then wanted one for her very self. And Don does not say no to his daughter because he's smart. And thank you very much to very smart listener Don and his daughter for supporting the Kickstarter campaign that got us to Paris and for sharing Sunny and Sadie with Shuklastan.
We are on the medal board.
We have 3 golds and 1 bronze. Wow. Nice day.
Good job, Shuklastan. And there's more Shuklastanis in action tomorrow.
Callahan Young and Team USA Men's Goalball face Iran in their final preliminary game.
Matt Stutzman competes in the finals rounds of men's compound open archery.
Daniel Romanchuk races in the men's T54 400 meters.
One of 5 million races he's doing here at in Paris. Jessica Long swims in the women's 200-meter IM SM8.
Grace Norman competes in the women's PTS5 para-triathlon.
Maybe. We don't know.
We got to check the weather.
It rained again. Like right at the end of the athletics session, massive clap of thunder. And then we got some rain. So who knows what that means in terms of water quality in the Seine. Will they reschedule? Will they do a duathlon? I don't know.
We'll let you know.
Not yet.
I'll let you know.
McKenna Gear shoots in the mixed 10-meter air rifle prone SH2.
Team USA women's sitting volleyball continues preliminary play against France.
Brian Bell with Team USA men's wheelchair basketball faces Australia.
And Chuck Aoki and Team USA's wheelchair rugby team will be testing the strength of my heart and play their semifinal.
That'll do it for this episode. Special thank you to our researcher, Elizabeth Emery.
And you can get in touch with us on X, YouTube, and Instagram at FlameAlivePod. Send us an email at flamealivepod@gmail.com. Call or text us at 208-352-6348. That's 208-FLAME-IT. Chat with us and other fans on our Facebook group, Keep the Flame Alive Podcast. And to get our special daily Games Time newsletter, sign up at our website, flamealivepod.com.
On the end of this is going to be Mixed Zone from Evan. And then we'll have Jaydin, Blackwell, and Daniel Romanchuk after that. It's worth running down 4 flights of stairs.
4 flights of janky stairs.
So look forward to that right after this. Join us again tomorrow for more action from Paris. Please don't forget to tell a friend about the show. Hang out with us in our Facebook group. Oh my gosh. You saw what Channel 4 in the UK did? They posted in our they didn't post in our Facebook group, but posted in our Facebook group was the fact that on their viewing guide digitally,
they put little hints about the Paralympics in all the program descriptions.
It was phenomenally cool. What a campaign. Thank you, Channel 4. And thank you so much for listening. And until tomorrow, keep the flame alive.
2 people for you.
Hi, Evan. I'm Alison Brown from Keep the Flame Alive. We had spoken back in the spring. What went right today?
The first fight and the last fight.
and really all 3 fights went well. You know, when you're competing at this like level and you're competing with guys that are former world champions, European champions, there's 2 or 3 dumb mistakes, and I made one at the end. You know, I was like, I felt like he was gassing out, and he like let his mind relax at the last 4 seconds, so I just kind of recklessly went in, and it cost me.
Right. You still have a bronze medal.
Yeah.
And you decided to come out and not lose that bronze medal.
Yeah.
What was that? What happened in between those two bouts?
You know, I never let myself think about that last fight. As soon as you lose that fight, you're on to the bronze medal, and I've been through that. And the last time, you know, I had a broken foot, and there was no one in the stands. It was like just like dead quiet, but I could hear the fans out here, and I just knew that I wasn't going to lose because I wasn't locked in. You know, I wasn't mentally ready. I was going to lose because he was better than me.
When I interviewed you, I told you I wanted to talk to your dad.
Yeah.
I did. And
how'd that go?
It was great.
Okay.
It was great. And your brother. And you had so many fans.
Yeah.
I hope you heard us.
Yeah, I did.
Good.
I did, definitely.
Good. Well, congratulations on your bronze medal.
Thank you.
What did it mean for you to walk out for that bronze medal fight with like the crowd and with people supporting you?
Yeah, totally. Like it's a totally different experience from Tokyo, and that's part of the reason why I came back. I wanted, you know, I didn't want my one Paralympic experience to be the one that everyone was just like out there. So that's why I came back, to enjoy the crowd, to enjoy, you know, the venue. You know, it's a great venue, and do all the things that I didn't get to do in Tokyo. So, you know, yeah, just really fired up for that bronze medal match. He's a tall guy. You know, he's been giving people problems all day. So, yeah.
What is the main thing that helped you to kind of bounce back from what happened in Tokyo?
Yeah, it's an experience. You know, I've been doing this for 10 years. I've lost matches. I've come back in bronze medal matches. You know, it's, you just forget it, and then, you know, later tonight, I'm just going to be sitting in bed, be like, why? You know, during that semifinal match. But, you know, that's not the time when you're back there getting ready for a fight. So, something like that.
Sorry.
Wasn't sure where exactly.
Sorry. Should have been louder about that.
Hey, Daniel. Keep the flame alive. And how was that race for you? I mean, obviously, result you wanted, but like, how much work was it to get from the back of the pack up to the...
Certainly, you know, it's those last few laps, you know, is certainly just head on a swivel for any movement within the pack, especially being that far back. Because yeah, you've got a lot of ground to make up, and you know, I really kind of just remember kind of getting out. You know, just in time for everything, you know, everything to break loose, and you know, the final sprint to start, and certainly it was just a very unusual race though. You know, usually there's a lot of transitions going around. You know, the draft line will cycle through people, but really there was very little to no cycling. You know, I remember I was able to get in the back and pretty much didn't move from there. You know, because again there was no movement in the pack, so certainly an unusual race.
You're only getting better. Your past couple races, Tokyo to now, it looks like you're only getting better. You're only getting faster. Your numbers are getting lower. Do you feel like you're peaking right now? You feel like this is where you, like, this is peak form?
It's hard to say exactly. You know, for us, we have you know, personally, I have a very long schedule here at the games, but then, you know, I still continue afterwards with the major marathons, and so you know, it's I'm very thankful to have a coach who can, you know, deal with all of the training and worrying about you know, peaking at the right time.
When you saw Marcel make his move, were you so confident you could get past?
You know, I really, that last lap or so was kind of a blur. Yeah, I just kind of remember, you know, being in the back, you know, kind of moving out, a sprint starting, and just everyone, I think we probably were 4 or so wide at one point. It was certainly a little Hard to say.
In those last laps, is there something specific you're telling yourself, maybe even on that last sprint, like a phrase in your mind, anything like that?
Not necessarily, no. It's just, try and, sprint and, watch the movements of everyone around, first of all, tactically, but also just safety. When we're going 20, low 20s and inches from each other, little movements can lead to some pretty bad crashes, and so just always head on a swivel, really. But ultimately, just sprint.
Appreciate it.
There's been a lot of talk with Marcel going for another golden quartet type thing. But obviously, you've dashed out at the first attempt. I mean, and you won a Paralympic title. What does that mean? What does that mean for you?
I really, it's a huge honor to be able to bring home gold for the U.S. Ultimately, records will be broken, and it's really something. Records and stuff like that I view as things to be pushed, not something to be owned. Really, it's Marcel is just an amazing athlete, and it's great to be able to race with him again.
Because you all know each other, don't you? You all race against each other so often, all in all major marathons.
Yep.
There's huge respect amongst all of you, really, isn't it?
Absolutely. Certainly get to know people a little bit. Everyone that goes around to the same marathons every year. Again, just a bunch of amazing athletes here, and it's great to be able to push with them all.
I will get in trouble if I don't ask. How was the wedding?
It was amazing. It's certainly it's just great to be able to have Hannah and the rest of my family here. It's as I think I mentioned earlier, it's an individual sport, but a team effort, and family has certainly done a lot over the years.
Did having the wedding right before the games help take the pressure off, or was it a different kind of pressure that you got into?
I think it just kind of made things. It was kind of different, but it was good to have two different things coming up. That way one thing doesn't really get doesn't start to consume everything, so to say. There's a little bit of variety to think about.
All right, excellent. Thank you.
All right. Good to see you, Jaydin.
Thank you.
Brian, Team USA. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hell of a race. Could it have gone any better possibly tonight, or was that the perfect race? And obviously, I'm sure immense satisfaction at this point.
I mean, it was a perfect race. I was just focused on what I really need to do, and just get out and get to the line as fast as possible. So, I'm just really glad that I can be able to do the things that I can do, and God's grace that I can do. So, yeah.
Take us through the race from the start to, leading the whole way and hammering it home.
I was just getting to blocks. I was just telling myself, just push out, get out, run, you got this. Just don't worry about it. Don't worry about anything else except you, yourself, and what you got in front of you. So I just got out of my drive phase and just stood up tall and just got to chugging it. I thought I was a little bit slow. It felt like I was a little bit slow, but I looked up when I crossed the line. I looked up at the little screen and saw 10:64. I was like, okay, all right, yeah, let's go.
What are the emotions like getting to ring that bell on the biggest stage?
I never got to ring a bell before, so it was a good experience. Just ding, ding, ding. So yeah, I wanted to ring it more, but I didn't want to take too much people of their time. They want to watch other people race, not just me. So.
What about the celebration? Putting on the shades, posing where a little Hollywood going on there in Paris.
Yeah. I had to bring something over here to put a little pizzazz on it. So yeah.
Obviously today went according to plan, but from trials to now, how has it been training and tapering back and getting ready for Paris?
Oh, training's been. My coach be putting me through the ringer because he wants me to do what I need to do, and he puts me through the ringer because he knows what I can do, and I'm grateful for that. Even though I don't really want to do it sometimes, but still, I'm happy that I have a coach like that that can really push me to my limits. So,
Jaydin, what about helping the athlete from China with his at the beginning of the race? What was going on there, and was that just kind of nice to see the other runners kind of helping him?
No, I mean, like, he was just trying to put on a little band thing, and the officials were trying to rush him. I'm like, dude, like, chill out. Like, he's trying to put it on. I'm like, so it's like, I'm gonna just help him do it so they can stop bullying him. Like, yo, like, calm down, dude. Like, it's a final. Like, we can take however many times if we want to. Like, they need to chill out with that for real. That got me a little mad a little bit. I ain't gonna lie, but still.
How's it running in front of a crowd this big?
Real big. I ain't never run in front of a crowd this big before, so it's a real good thing to hear all them cheers and stuff. And my ears might have been ringing or something. I don't know.
What's it like getting to run with a pair of teammates in a race like this?
It feels really good. It gives all of us that good boost of energy knowing that we have a teammate like that we like train with, hang out, laugh, joke with, and like on the same track as we are. So I mean, it's real good that I have Nick and Ryan in the same field, in the same lineup, on the same track as me, so we can push ourselves. Because Ryan, he PR, so like, so yeah, he's been trying to chase me. So I mean,
you guys shared a nice hug, you and Ryan, obviously. Tell us about short conversation. Congratulations. What?
I mean, yeah, we just say congratulations to each other. I mean, me and him are like really close because like we share similar things and everything, and like we both try to push each other to the absolute limit. So it's a really good thing that I have him, he has me. So we just hugged it out. Congratulations, everything, and just I'm really glad to have him like in my life and like as a teammate. So
he said similar, but he said he thinks he can get you in the 400. Not to start trouble this early on, but gonna.
I'm gonna say this. When I came to like Paralympics, who kept winning the 400? Me. Who came in second? Him. So it's not gonna change. I know you had something.
Jaydin, I was gonna ask, because the last time we talked to trials, you did mention looking to the 400 that you were looking to work on your second gear. Like you think your get off is good, and you think your finish is usually strong, but it's that middle, like 50 to 70 yards. That like, what have you done? We asked about training. What have you done training wise? Do you feel like you're in a good position to fix that? Because you knew you had talked about it in trials.
I'm gonna say a couple words. A lot of strength training, and a lot of 600s. 600s, because my coach be putting me through the ringer with them 600s. Oof.
What is the 600? Like, what's the benefit of adding?
Working on like my stamina and like my strength through like the finish and everything, because like my finish is like it's good, but it's not where I kind of want it to be. So just really just working on those things. It's just my techniques on just running the full 400. So yeah.
Can you comprehend the last 2 years? 4 world titles here, Paralympic Games title, world record. In 2 years is unbelievable. Can you comprehend it? Take it all in?
Yeah, I can't take it all in. I don't like to like think about all that all at the same time because it could cloud like people's minds. So I just like to take it at just one step at a time. Like going up steps, you take one foot and then the other. Yeah. I just like to take it like just one step at a time. Just take it in slow. Then when I'm done with that, just move on to the next. So yeah.
Do you think, I know you guys are, all friends, but do you think U.S. adaptive sprinting is on par with, U.S. able-bodied sprinting, Noah and Kenny, and obviously you and Ryan? How do you guys stack up against the able-bodied guys?
I mean, we stack up pretty good. I mean, we already know that they're really faster than us, but I mean, like, we put in as much as work and dedication as they have, so I mean, we have our own league, but like we could go into their league. So it's me. It's like once I get more older and get more reps in, I bet I can go over there and try something.
Guys, we gotta take him. Sorry, he's gotta get to his medal ceremony.
Thank you.